disappeared into the large marquee. They're off. Jumping away with 3 miles ahead of them for the Pertemps network. Handicap hurdle, penultimate qualifier in the series, and a very long run before they get to the first. Geoffroy in their headgear, the pale silks in the leading line, with Lord Snooty in a striped jacket, and Foylan, the cheek piece, is out wide. Pretty steady stuff under the judge first time. Yesterday, the checked cap for John Joe Jr. handy as they move into the first turn, with Our Sam the hooped sleeves. Well back favourite Cuthbert Dibble right around the end. A red jacket for Sam Twiston Davis in amongst horses, with Punter de Leste in a black jacket in midfield. Castle Russian is held up. The Hemmings Racing silks of green and yellow for champion jockey Brian Hughes. He's in the last group of 3. I love the Nightlife hoop jacket, his last but one, and Schalke in the royal blue also racing in rear. They continue this extended run to the first of the 12 scheduled flight. Geoffroy leading up to Foylan and Lord Snooty closer to the rail. Then Yesterday and Our Sam Cuthbert Dibble. Castle Russian out wide, wider still Schalke. I love the Nightlife and Punter de Leste in a well-grouped field as they leave the ground for the first time. Fanning out and exploring much of the width of the hurdles track down the back straight, moving towards the second. Geoffroy, Foylan in the cheek pieces, a close second. Yesterday took off and landed in third, ahead of Castle Russian racing on the far side, near side Lord Snooty. Then Our Sam in the black and beige, in a cluster that also has Punter de Leste in a black jacket, Schalke in the royal blue wide, Cuthbert Dibble about 4 lengths off the lead, right down on the inner. Very well grouped. I love the Nightlife, although towards the rear and not particularly fluent there, no more than 4 lengths off the pace setters. Heading towards the end of 3/4 mile or so now, and into the top turn they go. Geoffroy over Foylan, going along at 25, 26 miles an hour. So once again, sensible stuff in already heavy ground and made softer still by this pretty relentless rain. Geoffroy and Foylan the leading pair, with Yesterday the check cap disputing third with Lord Snooty, and then Castle Russian, Cuthbert Dibble towards the far side on straightening, just ahead of Punter de Leste. Our Sam, Schalke, and I Love the Nightlife on the approach the fourth, and they've got less than 2 miles to travel now. And Geoffroy got such a good ride from John Kington to win at Warwick 5 weeks ago in a Pertemps qualifier. Out in front here over Foylan and Yesterday, Lord Snooty in the stripes, and then Castle Russian, who's towards the left, the green and yellow jacket for Brian Hughes. Middle flight up the straight. Geoffroy, Foylan. Yesterday just snatched at that a little. Lord Snooty right down on the running rail, and he's tracked there by Cuthbert Dibble under Finn Lambert, red jacket. Crossing the 6th. And all neatly enough to the other side, with Schalke and Our Sam now the final pair. So through the halfway points, and Geoffroy leads up over Foylan, racing on the near side, Lord Snooty up the rail, and Yesterday between horses. Then Castle Russian, Punter de Leste in a black jacket, accompanied by Cuthbert Dibble. I Love the Nightlife wide, the hooped silks. Our Sam last but one, and Schalke last of what is still a very well grouped field, heading off towards the back straight for the final time. On towards the 7th they go. Geoffroy leading them at a pretty even pace over Foylan. Yesterday and Lord Snooty side by side, then Castle Russian wide of a line of 3 that has Cuthbert Dibble up the inner and Punter de Leste between horses. And the final 3 are Our Sam, I Love the Nightlife, and Schalke, as they make this gentle descent now towards the 7th. Geoffroy narrowly over Foylan. Jockey's silks betraying the fact that they've been pretty much the leading pair from the outset, and they're all neat enough over that one. Moving on now towards the middle flight on the far side. Geoffroy over Foylan. Yesterday, Castle Russian cheek pieces. Brian Hughes removing a bit of mud from his goggles. Cuthbert Dibble has angled off the fence. Red Jacket alongside Lord Snooty, who still has the rail. Then Punta de l'Este, Our Sam, I Love the Nightlife. Schalke has dropped a little off them, and they're heading towards the final flight on the far side. 4 out, deep inside the last mile. Geoffroy, I Love the Nightlife, last but one, beginning to find this hard work. Geoffroy untidy there, kicked it flat to the ground. Foylan right alongside. In behind, queuing up on their tails from the rail across, Lord Snooty, Cuthbert Dibble, Yesterday and Castle Russian wide. Then a small break to Punta de l'Este, who's just ahead of Our Sam. And the other two are struggling, I Love the Nightlife and Schalke. And they leave the back straight behind them with a long run now towards the third last. Foylan in the cheek pieces, putting it up to Geoffroy. Still the leading pair. Castle Russian is a very close third on, straight into Yesterday. Cuthbert Dibble turns in 5th place with 4 or 5 lengths to make up on the leaders. Finn Lambert now asking him to close Red Jacket as Foylan and Geoffroy continue to trade punches. Yesterday's bearing down on them, and Cuthbert Dibble now is beginning to thread his way through. Back in 5th is Castle Russian. Here's the third last. Cuthbert Dibble comes alongside Foylan. Yesterday on the left is challenging. Geoffroy is relegated to 4th. It's going to be slow motion stuff up the run in here towards the last couple of flights, but Cuthbert Dibble has powered on here. Moves over 3 lengths clear, not particularly fluent. Bunny hopped it. Foylan is chasing. Yesterday in 3rd. Geoffroy rallying pluckily under pressure. And then Lord Snooty. 1 to go. A long run in. Cuthbert Dibble neatly enough over the last. 3 lengths ahead. Yesterday on the left. Lord Snooty, Striped Jacket is staying on under pressure. Heading now inside the last 200 metres. Cuthbert Dibble. Lord Snooty is inching closer. Yesterday is back in 3rd. Cuthbert Dibble in front by over 2 lengths. Lord Snooty continues to stay on. They're racing for the shadows of the post. Cuthbert Dibble is all out. Lord Snooty is still closing. Cuthbert Dibble grinds out, grubs out a success over Lord Snooty. He was closing all the way to the line. Yesterday in 3rd. Back in 4th, Geoffroy.
Cuthbert Dibble has had to prove very brave in the conditions under Finn Lambert. Wins for Nigel Twiston-Dave as the 6-4 favourite. Lord Snooty tried really hard to reel him in after the last flight of hurdles. Had a chance, but couldn't quite get there. Back in 3rd was Yesterday. That's the 1, 2, 3 in a real test at Haydock. The runners are heading down to the start for the next at Gorham Park. It's a 2.5 mile beginner's chase. St. Felicien is the 11-10 favourite. 5-2